Hello friends, it's me, Dudley Dragon. We are going to talk about one of my favorite times of day. Can you guess what it is? It's lunch. Come on in and we'll get started. Throughout this lesson, we will talk about expected behavior. Being kind, safe, and responsible are the star behaviors here at Dudley, and they are expected behaviors. Expected behaviors are things we do or say that give people good thoughts about us. Doing what is expected is different based on where you are and who you are with. Today we will talk about expected behavior for lunch. This year, classes will eat lunch in either the cafeteria or the gym. The gym has been set up with tables and chairs for students to eat lunch. Both of these locations allow students to enjoy their lunch with classmates while keeping a safe distance from others. Yum! Expected behaviors for lunch are: I use the bathroom in my classroom before lunch. I can take off my mask when seated at lunch. I can stay in my seat and raise my hand if I need help. I can keep my hands and feet to myself. Our first expected behavior for lunch doesn't even happen at lunch. It happens before lunch. All students will use the bathroom in their classroom and wash their hands in their classroom before leaving the classroom for lunch. All students that are buying will pick up lunch in the cafeteria. It is important to follow any directions your teacher gives you about entering the lunch line. Let's watch this student go through the lunch line. I notice that he's using walking feet. He picks up the lunch tray from the lunch teacher and then gives his lunch teacher his name. He then leaves the lunch line for his seat. In this next video, we will see a class entering the cafeteria with their lunch teacher. Pay close attention and keep an eye out for our expected behaviors. We saw the 4 expected lunch behaviors in this video. Students removed their masks when they were seated. They remained seated because they had used the bathroom in their classroom ahead of time. They were seated the entire time and raised their hand if they needed help. They kept their hands and feet to themselves and enjoyed lunch by talking with friends that were close by. Now it's your turn to point out the expected behavior. Anytime you see a student doing one of these 4 expected behaviors, give us a thumbs up. Let's get started. All students entered the gym quietly and remained seated the entire time. These students were showing us the expected behavior. I can stay in my seat and raise my hand if I need help. No one needed to get up and use the bathroom. Students were showing us the expected behavior. I can use the bathroom in my classroom before lunch. We also saw students enjoying their lunch and chatting with friends. Students kept their bodies and their lunches to themselves. All students were following the expected behavior. I keep my hands and feet to myself. There is one more expected behavior for lunch that we need to discuss. It was not part of either the cafeteria or the gym video, but it is very important. A 5th and final expected behavior for the cafeteria is I can throw out my garbage at the end of lunch. Students should remain in their seats for the entire lunchtime. They may stand to throw away their garbage once their teacher has arrived to pick them up at the end of lunch. Our final expected behavior for lunch is I can throw out my garbage at the end of lunch. That's it. You've done it. You now know the expected behaviors for lunch. You can now go to lunch and be a star student.